Alright, what's going on, ladies and gentlemen? It is your boy Tony Shen with Tony Shen Beats. Today, I want to talk about sampling. Now, sampling is one of those skills that I believe every beatmaker / producer should have. First of all, like hip hop, like if you make hip hop music, right, like that's where hip hop really originated from, is just sampling old records and then playing it into beats, right? So that's like a very essential skill and is a part of the history of hip hop. Second is just a very versatile skill for you to have. Like, you don't need much, you don't need a lot of fancy plugins, you don't need a lot of CPU even if you're constrained by that, just to find a dope sample. So today I'm gonna give you 3 ways or 3 sources to find these samples, because half the battle is knowing where to find these actual samples and the other half is knowing how to manipulate them and chop them up, right? But I feel like a lot of the times we're constrained because we don't really know where to start looking for these samples, and that's where a big bottleneck of this process comes from. Now, like I said, in this video, I'm gonna give you 3 sources where you can find these samples, and each of these sources has their own unique pros and cons, and there's a situation where you can use each one of these 3 sources. Now, before I get to that though, if you're new to this channel and you haven't done so already, please hit the subscribe button. It really means a lot to me, and I just love seeing this channel grow. I just want to help more and more people out. But yeah, with that being said, let's get started. The first source is YouTube. Now, I know most of you who are actually looking for samples probably already use YouTube to find samples, but I'm gonna break down a pretty effective way of finding through YouTube, because I know it's a very big place. It's full of literally like any sound you know exists is probably on YouTube. It has the most expansive library of songs that you can sample. It's just very easy to get lost into, and it's very easy to get distracted, especially, and also discouraged because you're not finding the right sounds and you don't know where to look on YouTube, since it's such a big place. Now, because YouTube offers such an expansive library of sounds and it's so easy to get lost, my recommendation is to be as specific as possible in terms of what type of sound you're looking for, and look for playlists, because playlists give you a coherent library of sounds that are very similar, and it gives you the ability to pick and choose, and also to just sit through and listen to different songs within the playlist that are similar to each other in terms of what type of sound you're looking for. So let me give you an example, right? So now we're on YouTube, and let's just think of like a type of vibe we're looking for. Like, say you wanted to sample some 90s R&B, right? So put my trusty headphones on. 90s R&B / maybe like the more specific you can be, the better it is, because there's a ton of results that you're gonna get. All right, so R&B / soul, right? Now, in the filter, you want to look for playlist, and that essentially gives you like a wide collection of songs that are similar in vibes, and it gives you the ability to like look through them. Okay, like this has a nice intro. Maybe you could take some drums from it, or maybe you could take like a loop from this. You have tons of options within this playlist alone, and you can look through, like Whitney Houston. Everyone falls. Like that for sure could make a good intro, right? And then another thing to look for when looking for playlists is maybe look in the comments. You read faster than like your brain can process the certain sounds. So if you just look through the comments and look at what they're saying, sometimes you're gonna have producers even in the comments like commenting, oh, like I could totally flip this. So you can kind of like look through the comments and then get an idea of like what the song is gonna be before you even like dedicate a few minutes of your time to listen through the full song. A lot of times you'll get what the general vibe of a song is just by looking at the comments, because your time is limited, your concentration is limited, and also your creativity is limited. Obviously, like if you spend hours listening to music, like you're only gonna have that much energy left. So you want to be able to find the song that you're looking for as quick as possible, and just find that instant connection and start creating and get inspired right away. Another thing to note is that the first few seconds of your song is really important, because a lot of times that's where the intro is, where like you're not gonna have that many drums in the way, so it's a lot easier to loop and sample. So the intro is very important. So anything past the intro, if you don't feel like it's the right vibe, don't try to sit through the entire song, just move on to the next one.
A famous shoe is important as the ocean.
And just another general tip for looking through samples, especially on YouTube, is sometimes like they have like the music video itself, there's like some type of like cool intro, like maybe there's like a skit or like a monologue or something, right? Like that could be very useful as well. Like that, you could use that for your own intro for some beats. It's pretty cool. Like sometimes you don't expect it, but it's just a really cool snippet that you could always grab. Okay, so now let's say you found a really cool sample that you could use, like this Keith Martin song, right? That's for sure like something that you could totally flip. That sounds dope. I might actually use that, right? So now what you want to do is just go to YouTube to MP3, just this converter, and then just copy the link and then download it, and then you could use. So it's a pretty simple concept, but in execution it's pretty hard because you do need to stay focused and you do need to like instantly find some type of connection with the sample you're working with, because otherwise you're gonna spend hours, like you're gonna spend so much time finding the perfect sample, and then by the time you actually find it, you might just be exhausted and mentally fatigued, and you're not gonna have the energy to actually follow through with that idea. So you do want to keep in mind that the sooner you can find something that you connect with, the better it is. So that's like the drawback with YouTube, is that you can get easily distracted and there's just so much other stuff, so much other content that could get in the way of your creativity. Now let's talk about the second source you could find samples, which is Spotify, or any type of streaming platform you have. I just use Spotify because I have Spotify and like I kind of know how it works. And more specifically, you want to look for playlists, right? Like obviously you don't want to go to most necessary and look for little baby songs to samples. Like you want to look for playlists, and you want to again be very specific because Spotify does again have a lot of songs, and you do want to make sure that each song that you're listening to that's taking away your focus and concentration is somewhat related to the song you're looking for. So let's just go back with that 90s R&B vibe, right? Like 90s R&B, like old school R&B. Go through these playlists. Now the good thing with Spotify is that it's very accessible to you at any time. Like you could be washing the dishes, you could be cleaning your house, you could be riding a bicycle and then listening to specific playlists that you're intending to sample, and it's just, you could do it anywhere, like riding on the bus, like anywhere. It's very accessible to you. Right now the bad thing is you are going to have to try to stay focused because you can easily just be preoccupied with other tasks while listening, or you could just find something that you're really interested in and then forget about it. So you do have to stay focused, and that could be hard, especially when you're doing other tasks while listening to Spotify. But again, it's the same concept. If you find a playlist that you really like, you can kind of just scroll through it and then be quick and straight to the point. And another drawback is most of the time when you're listening to Spotify, you're gonna be listening to the entire song over. Like you're not gonna be skipping that much, right? Especially when you're doing other tasks. What happens is maybe you listen to like a really cool song that has a really dope intro, and then you end up listening to the entire song. You forget how dope the intro was, and you forget the song ever existed, and you just move on to the next song. So my tip for you when you're using Spotify or any other streaming services and looking through playlists to sample is try to stay focused, and the second you hear something good that instantly gives you creativity and inspiration, write it down or add it to your own playlist. I recommend you creating your own playlist, like, you know, say that could be pretty cool, right? Add to your own playlist, just create your own playlist full of like your own samples, so that anytime you're thinking about making a sampled song, you can just go back to your playlist and find through a bunch of songs that you were inspired by, and now you have a library full of songs that you know can be used for sample. Now another downside of Spotify is that you can't directly download it onto your computer. You can only download it within Spotify, so you can listen to it offline. So say you wanted to sample this song, you would have to find the same exact song on YouTube and do the same method we did earlier with the YouTube to MP3. So Tevin Campbell, Can We Talk? Okay, it's there. So then you would just find that and then YouTube to MP3 it and then use it as a sample. So that's number 2, the Spotify / any streaming platform method is 1, find the right playlist, whatever fits your vibe. Like be specific and find a playlist that best matches your vibe. 2, if you find songs that inspire you, add them to a playlist, your own playlist, as soon as possible, so you have these fresh ideas easily accessible to you. And 3, if you do find something good, you have to go to YouTube and download it. Most of the time you are going to be able to find it on YouTube, but that is just like a little bit more hassle, and it might take away some of your energy, just like a little bit though. So it's not that big of a deal, but it does kind of take away that vibe, right? Now number 3 is the secret sauce. This is like the backdoor menu item that no one knows about, but is super dope, that like is just like truly game changer. This is a website called Vinyl Frontier Blogspot. This is what it looks like. Now I don't know if they're as active on it now, but essentially this is basically just like, I don't know if you played Call of Duty Zombies before, but you know, like the random mystery box, like you go and just hit a box, and then like there's just like a random weapon that pops up that lets you fight zombies. This is basically what it is. Like it's just a random collection of obscure vinyl samples that you could just find, and basically they just list out a bunch of albums or collections of vinyl records, and then you can just easily download them right here, right? And basically just get an instant package of like obscure vinyl records that not a lot of people have heard of, right? They're just super dope and sound very vintage, and it gives you a lot to work with. This is for like if you don't know what you specifically, like what vibe you want, like you're really beat blocked, or you're just looking for some sort of inspiration, and you still at the same time want to work on your sampling or want to do something with this, like you don't know exactly what type of sample you want, but you know that you want to sample something. This website is perfect for it. I'm going to link it in the description below, but it's a free website and they do take donations, so I might actually donate just because of how much it's helped me. And it's just an expansive library. Like they categorize it by year, so you know, like in 2016 they posted 209 different vinyls, and you can just download all of these, tons and tons of records that you could sample. If you've seen some of my other sampling videos, a lot of the times I take samples from this website and I make beats out of them. So very amazing website, and if anything, this is like the least amount of effort it takes. Like all you need to do is find a random, like one of these random covers, and then download it, and instantly you'll have a bunch of samples that you can instantly work with, and a lot of them are very usable. They contain a lot of like vintage R&B, like you can find a lot of like orchestral stuff in it too. Now the only downside is you're less flexible, like you're not in control of what you really want to find, but you know, that's what you get with the random mystery box. Like sometimes you get a really good weapon, other times you get a teddy bear and then the box disappears, or you get like some poopy gun, right? Like, but again, the good side is instant creativity and instant access to like a sample that might change your entire life. So with that being said, I hope this video was helpful. Hopefully I just helped you pick a sample that will win you a Grammy in the future. But if that was any use to you, if you found this video to be useful, or if you got something from it, please show some support on this channel. Drop a like, drop a comment, hit the subscribe button. Hope you guys have a wonderful day. Peace out.